Do you want me to talk to the things that I think are really important for preparing a witness or your client for a Zoom jury trial?
Yes, please. We would love to hear whatever virtual tips you want to share.
We'll take them all. Absolutely.
Okay, these are the things that are really, really important. This will help lawyers to be very prepared for their Zoom jury trial. You first want to make sure that your client and your witnesses have the Zoom login credentials at least 30 minutes before they are to appear. You need to practice how to connect to audio, how to mute and unmute, how to start and stop video, and how to enter and leave breakout rooms. Those are the bare minimums that you should be working through with your clients and your witnesses before trial, not on the day of trial. Ensure that the witness has an electronic device that's not a phone. So many witnesses appear in our virtual courtrooms on their phones, and typically they're in portrait mode and instead of landscape, and we can't see them. They might be in their car driving or something like that. So, it seems intuitive, but make sure to communicate to witnesses and clients that they need to be in a quiet space, free from distractions, with adequate lighting, a reliable internet connection, and not on a phone. And make sure that you can see them centered in their Zoom tile and not, where all we can see are their eyes, or we're seeing, some other part of their body that we shouldn't be, and make sure that they silence any audible notifications on their computer. During testimony, people will say, okay, I have my phone off, and then we'll hear beep, 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 like the little sound notifications for email when they come in, very disruptive. And so take the time to tell your clients and your witnesses to silence all those notifications. They also can't have any web streaming in the room because it creates feedback on Zoom. Especially if they're streaming the trial, that we hear immediately, and it happens. And if the rule has been invoked, you need to communicate to your client that they are not to watch the trial, because what's going to happen is, if you haven't communicated that to them, I'm going to wind up asking them, and we'll have a situation where potentially that witness might not be able to testify. So make sure to communicate that. Make sure that you instruct your clients and your witnesses not to look at any documents or devices while they're testifying. I actually had a situation where an attorney was communicating with his witness on the phone, and not only could I hear the sound notifications, but I could tell, I can see when their eyes are looking at a phone. I can absolutely tell when people are communicating with someone else during their testimony. It's really easy to tell if they're looking at a document. So, make sure to tell them they need to focus on their own recollection of the facts and not be looking at anything else unless they're specifically instructed to do so. And, just make sure that they know that process of looking at a document before it's admitted, and how to review the witness viewing folder. And then, in Travis County, just make sure that if they don't have access to the internet or a quiet space, that you reserve a Zoom room from us. If there's going to be an interpreter, make sure to let us know in advance so that we can set up Zoom interpretation function, or that we can get that interpreter sworn in, and that process is efficient as well. Those are the big ones that I want to make sure everybody remembers. And if you can do those 10 things, then everything will go much smoother. Those are the big 10.